The Dodgers make a big roster decision. Shohei Ohtani makes his first start on the mound in spring training. Also, an exclusive interview with former Dodger Jimmy Rollins. We'll hear Shohei's reaction to his first start and what position battles are left to be won. We'll talk some Kyle Freeland versus Hesung Kim. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Warrior Parade! We got it, Parade! The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series! Ohtani starts the 50-50 clock! Monkey magic! Freeman hits the ball, right field! She is gone! Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
You gotta knock him out!
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is Dodgers Dugout Live with your host, Doug McKain.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of the media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet, what are you waiting for? A new season is almost upon us, and if you want the latest Dodgers news, rumors, all things Dodger baseball, 24/7, 365. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you want to support every episode, drop a like, drop a comment. This show is brought to you by the LA Sports Report. It's my new show about all things LA sports, and GearUp.LA, the official merchandise store of Dodgers Nation. Today's Dodgers Dugout Live poll question of the show. I asked you guys over on the X, which Dodgers pitcher would you most want to win the NL Cy Young? Not the one that you think is going to. If you're rooting for one to win the Cy Young, who would you want it to be? And right now, 63.5% say Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 26.9% say Shohei Ohtani, 1.9% say Blake Snell, and 7.7% say Tyler Glasnow. So as of right now, it's a newer poll. We'll get an update on it later in the show. Dodgers fans want to see Yamamoto get the hardware. Second is Shohei, and Glasnow more than Blake Snell. So let me know down below your thoughts on that. But there's so much to get into in the world of Dodger baseball. So let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
All right, the hottest story in Dodger baseball. We'll get to that roster decision that they made about Santiago Espinal, my good friend, my pal, the guy that I was the first to say would make this roster. Not here to take a victory lap. We'll talk about him in a second. The biggest story is always about Shohei Ohtani. If Shohei Ohtani is doing something on a baseball diamond, it's worth discussing. And yesterday, Shohei Ohtani made his spring training pitching debut, going 4 1/3 innings, giving up 0 runs through 61 pitches, 34 strikes, and he helped the Dodgers get a 5-1 win over the San Francisco Giants. I've got the 5 things you need to know about Shohei's first start in spring. Now, the first thing you need to know was that from a pitch standpoint, 61 pitches already, 4 1/3 innings already. This is very different from what we saw last season, where he was built up 1 inning at a time, and he was essentially making rehab starts at the big league level because he was still DHing. He was still hitting. Yesterday, he did not hit when he pitched, but this is a very good sign that Shohei is going to be ready for at least 3 innings, 4 innings, possibly 5 innings. And I think he's going to be able to get to 6 innings a lot quicker than a lot of people had anticipated. So this is a very big revelation in that they don't have to worry about this slower ramp up. He got his work in early in the offseason. He showed up to Camelback Ranch knowing he was going to compete in the WBC. He was throwing 99 in his first live, so the velocity was up. I think the big takeaway is that if you were fearing that they were going to have all these swingmen on the roster to start the year, that's probably not going to be the case. Justin Robleski, he can certainly get the job done as a swingman. Most of his work came out of the bullpen last season. He's going to be on the opening day roster, but that's the first big thing you need to know is that he was really ahead of schedule as far as how he looked and how comfortable he looked going at least 4 innings, going that 4 1/3, pitching into the 5th inning, tossing 61 pitches. So I was very encouraged by that. Second thing you need to know is from a velocity standpoint, we're still in the ramp-up phase. The velo was about 1 mile per hour slower on both of his fastballs, the sinker and the four-seamer. That's totally normal. That's absolutely to be expected at this point in spring training. He did throw 99.9 miles per hour as his highest velo yesterday, did have 4 strikeouts, and then the velocity was also down on the off-speed stuff, and that was a little more than what we saw last season. So the third takeaway is the velo was also down on the off speed. His sweeper averaged 82.8 miles per hour yesterday. That's 2.2 miles per hour lower than his average last season. So the velo down the fastball, a little more down on the off speed. Nothing to be concerned about, but it's something you just want to know, just if you want to follow his ramp up and his progression. The fourth thing you need to know, gave up some walks. Did not have complete command of the zone the entire outing. The four-seam fastball command wasn't at its best. He didn't really get hit or anything like that as much, but he did give up a couple of walks. 2 walks to be exact. He hit a batter, and this is something that we know is going to be the case early on for any pitcher making his first start, is you want to just dial in that fastball command. Sometimes it takes a start here, a start there, but the best thing is you have to remember the last time this man was on a mound in a competitive baseball game, it was Game 7 of the World Series, and that was in early November, and we're towards the end of March at this point. So I think that yesterday was a massive, massive win for the Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani. I think this puts him way ahead of where he was before he made his pitching debut for the Dodgers last year. He was completing his rehab, coming off his second Tommy John surgery, and he just started with a blank canvas last year and was having to paint that thing 1 inning at a time. That's not the case this season. He is already ahead of schedule. He's going to be stretched out to at least 3 to 4 that first start, and I think quickly to 5 to 6 because he wants to pitch. Get that in your mind now. That I know you want to think about the postseason, preserving things. Great. The man wants to give himself a chance to win the Cy Young. He's not going to just pound his fist on the table and plant his flag on it, but from what I've heard, from what we've heard from him and those little nuggets here and there, he's made it clear he wants to pursue that award. And to get that award, you're going to have to make 25 starts at least. And I think where he's at right now, could he make 28? Could he get to 28? Because that's the most he's ever made in a season. In 2022, he pitched 166 innings, made 28 starts, was 4th in the NL in the AL Cy Young voting. Now he's going to have to try to get that done in the NL. And if he does that and has a 50-50 season or a 50 home run season with 100 RBIs, hits close to 300, we could be talking about the best individual season, not just in baseball, but for any athlete in professional sports history. That, I think, is what's on the table for this upcoming season. The GOAT athletic season, not just baseball, all of sports. Baseball wouldn't even be a conversation. It probably, even some of his seasons in the past could already be the case because everyone wants to compare him to Babe Ruth. The most wins and home runs that Babe Ruth had in a season was 13 and 11. Okay, we could be talking about 50 and 20, things like that. So it's going to be exciting to follow all season long, and early returns on Shohei on the mound are very, very good. Dave Roberts was impressed. He said after his start yesterday, I was surprised at how sharp he was, but I guess I've learned that you don't ever underestimate or try to make predictions on what Shohei's going to do. He's always going to deliver. Yeah, I thought he would be a little bit more rusty than he was today. The breaking ball was good, got some swing and miss, the fastball command. He was working ahead in the count today. So across the board, really good. It actually didn't feel like it was his first outing. So that is definitely extremely, extremely encouraging to hear from your manager. And Shohei Ohtani, after the start, he talked to reporters, he answered questions. And the biggest takeaway I want you to get from Shohei and his responses is this is the most locked that I've ever seen Shohei about the pitching side. And I followed him in his time with the Angels as well, extremely closely, not as closely as I do being a reporter for the Dodgers or anything like that, but still, from what I've heard, it's just such a priority for him to really showcase, no pun intended there, by the way, to showcase his ability to pitch at an elite level and most importantly, help this team win games.
Well, just Shohei, for you to continue with your progression while you're away from the team with Team Japan, to be able to get into that 5th inning today, how good are you feeling just in regard to where your stuff is at and how your build-up is going?
実戦登板なく、今日初めてっていうところで5回まで投げれたっていうのはどのぐらい大きいですか？ライブ EP もちゃんとやってたので、そういう意味ではその延長線上として今日初めてでしたけど、あんまりその初めてだっていう感覚もなく投げれたので、自然な感じで入れたかなと思ってます。
It actually didn't feel like it was my first spring training outing. I do see this as more of an extension of a live BP situation. So it honestly didn't feel too bad going into this game.
You'll have one more, Dave Roberts said, in the Freeway Series. Is there anything you're looking to achieve just as you close out spring training to prepare for the regular season?
あともう1回投げると思いますけど、克服したい課題とかありますか？
全体的には球数は投げれたのでそこが一番良かったですし、2ストライク後からもう少ししっかりと三振に取れるところあったのかなとは思うので、そこが唯一課題かなと思います。
I was pretty happy with the pitch count today. In terms of the next outing, I do want to be better at executing in 2-strike counts. I just didn't finish off hitters as much as I wanted to.
Do you feel at all that you have to do this in a hurry because of the short time before opening day now?
その結構スケジュール的に牛詰めでやるのそういう感じてますかと。
どうなんですかね。試合、スプリントトレーニングもありますけど、野手で言うならWBC はね本当により実践的というか雰囲気も含めて、この早い時期にそういうトーナメントができるっていうのは逆にプラスな部分はあると思うので、確かにちょっと駆け足な部分早く作る部分ありましたけど、決してマイナスの部分だけではないのかなと思ってます。
In terms of the hitting, it did help that I played in an atmosphere that was, pretty intense and competitive. So the fact that I had to get things going earlier in the off season maybe was the only thing that really affected my preparation, but it did really help me. I think it helped me more so than it hurt me as I played through these meaningful games in the World Baseball Classic.
Now that you're another year removed from the surgery and have had closer to a normal kind of off-season spring build-up, what can you do pitching-wise that you weren't able to do last year?
オフシーズン、普通のオフシーズン遅れたっていう意味で今回、できることっていうのはやっぱピッチャーとして増えました。
そうですね。いい意味で10月は潰れたんですけど、その短い中で通常のオフシーズントレーニング含めてしっかりできたのはピッチングにとっても、バッティングにとってもそうですけど助けになるんじゃないかなとは思ってまして、1年間健康でまずは過ごすのが一番目標かなと思います。
In a good way, I think October was spent on playing meaningful games. So in a way, my shorter off season was spent more efficiently. So I did see it eventually as a plus in terms of all the preparation that I needed to do to get to the season.
Was there anything you were able to do in October, whether it be expanding your arsenal a little bit more than you had in the early outings or anything like that? You feel like handle, like, equip you for a full season's worth of starts in terms of being able to handle different lineups and stuff like that?
Postseason?
Yeah, when you expanded his arsenal to postseason.
まあ、ポストシーズンにいろいろ球種とか増やしてのことで、まあ、そういう経験があり、まあ、プラスになっているんですよね。
いやもう単純にそのなんていうんですかね、回復期間というか、ゆっくりこう過ごせる期間が今年はあったので、去年はもう本当にリハビリ、施設に行って練習に行ってみたいなので、本当にこう1日終わってましたし、それがまあ長いこと続いてたので、これメンタル的に休みがあんまりなかったなというところでいうと、まあ、今年はしっかりそういう部分は取れたので、より集中して施設に入れるのかなと思います。
I think this off season mentally, I felt like I was well rested. The previous off season, just having to go to different facilities, appointments, rehabbing, just felt like every day the day passed by really quick. So this off season just felt like I had a pretty easier off season mentally.
Dave and Andrew have said they want to be kind of mindful with your pitching workload, maybe giving you extra time between starts, whether it be 7, 8, 9 days. Do you want that, or do you feel like you can make pretty regular turns through the rotation this year and pitch what would be a normal kind of pitching workload?
監督アンドリューさんが、まあ、7、8、9の中で投げさせるとは言ってましたけども、個人的にはそのローテを守るっていうか、中5で中6で守るっていう意識はありますか？
まあそうですね、自分としてはそのつもりでもちろん行きますし、まあ、伸びる分にはもちろん、まあ、そこまで難しいことではないので、まあ、幸いにもピッチャー揃ってますし、まあ、一番の目標はやっぱポストシーズンにこう全員が健康な状態でいくことだとは思うので、そこのマネジメントの部分に関しては特に僕からこうしたいということはなく、まあ、僕としてはまあ5、6で行くつもりで、まあ、伸びる分にはその都度対応できればいいんじゃないかなと思ってます。
I mean, my intent is to, be in the rotation under normal rest, normal circumstances. Now, if the management thinks that, I need extra rest, I'll take it, but I'll let the management kind of handle that. And just looking at our roster, we have a lot of pitchers. It doesn't hurt to rest more. So in that sense, I'll let the management kind of handle that. But for me, my intention is to, be on normal rest and prepare for that.
How important would it be for you?
You said before that pitching more innings is one of those things that can put you in the conversation for the Cy Young. Do you think that starting the season fully or close to fully built up gets you closer to that?
投げるっていう目標、サイヤンに向けてのそういうのは大事と言ってましたけども、それが大事になってくる初めの感じです。
まあそれはね、2イニング重ねれば、まあそれだけ多くの機会があれば、まあそういった勝負に近づくことはもちろん、まあその通りだとは思いますけど、まあ初めからそのためにプレーするということはないですし、無理にその縮めて投げる、そのために投げるということはもちろんないので、まあさっきも言った通り全員がポストシーズンにまずは健康な状態で行くのが優先だと思うので、まあ例えばピッチャーの数が減ってきたとか、誰かが怪我で抜けたとか、そういうことでまあ増えていくことももちろんあると思いますし、そこはまあ臨機応変に対応できればいいんじゃないかなと思ってます。
I would never want to sacrifice our chance of winning and performing in the postseason. So I think that's really the number one goal in my mind. So just because I want to try to win the Cy Young and throw more innings, that's not necessarily the priority over winning a championship. So with that being said, if there's a situation where there's some injuries and I do have to pitch in a shorter rest, I'm happy to do so.
Last one, guys. How important would it be for you just to get to the 25 start marker, something that's close to that, because I think you've only topped that once in your career, just to show that you can go wire to wire as a pitcher?
25登板っていうのは一度しかキャリアでやったことないですけども、その大事数字っていうのは大事なことなのか。
そうですね、まあ、先発ピッチャーである以上は登板を重ねるっていうのはもちろん大事ですし、まあイニングももちろんそうですけど、そのローテーションを守っていくっていうのもまた大事なことではあるので、まあ、さっきも言った通りこう全員がまあ、本当に難しいことだとは思うので、まあ、開幕のローテーションをそのまま維持し続けて最後まで走るっていうのは、まあ、30球団の中でも、まあ、1球団あればいいんじゃないかなぐらいだとは思いますし、本当に臨機応変に対応するのがベストな道じゃないかなと思っています。
Yeah, I do see that as an important benchmark as a starting pitcher. Ideally in a situation where everybody makes, 25 starts, that's the ideal situation, but it's hard to find that nowadays. I mean, if you find one in 30 teams, that's how rare it is. So, I think what's more important is to just be flexible, adjustable, and making sure that, we're, having the goal in mind rather than the starts that we need to make.
Thanks, guys.
Shohei Ohtani speaking very highly of just the fact that, hey, I think he's ready to go. And him talking the way he is about pitching and focusing on that side while also being one of the best and most productive, most explosive hitters in baseball really just says a lot about the player that he is, the pitcher that he is. And I talked about it yesterday. I mean, one of the things you have to look at this season is the days after he pitched, 8 games, he was 4 for 33, hit 121 and a home run. So how will the bat hold up throughout the season? On days that he bat and he pitched, wasn't terrible. Hit 246, lower than his normal batting average, but did have 7 home runs and 2 doubles. So that's going to be something to monitor this season. A quick update, by the way, on the Miguel Rojas, Evan Drellich drama. We talked about it yesterday, how Miguel Rojas was extremely upset about Evan Drellich, the reporter from The Athletic, incorrectly using Miguel Rojas of the Los Angeles Dodgers as a player that was going to be suspended for 80 games for PED use. It was actually Johan Rojas. Well, Miguel Rojas was upset that he did not get an apology from Drellich, and Drellich did tweet this out today. To Miguel Rojas and the Dodgers, I sincerely and publicly apologize. I've reached out to Miguel, the Dodgers, and Miguel's agent to say the same. Once again, I'm sorry. So, look, I think this was the right thing to do. It should have been done immediately, and if he had done that, Rojas would not have been upset. I'm telling you, Miguel Rojas is as kind and nice as anyone. I'll tell you something that they don't report or they don't show on social media is every year one player gets an award from the media for being the player that talks the most and gives the most and is available the most. And Miguel Rojas won that award last season because he's someone that really is always there to talk to. You rarely ever see him turn down an interview request. So yeah, if Drellich had done this immediately, he would have saved himself. But hey, better late than never, and this will pass. Drellich is a really good reporter. He truly is, and he just made a mistake. And look, some mistakes will hurt you more than others. He's going to pay the consequences for now. But, yeah, I think Rojas, he said he's not going to talk about it again. But I wouldn't be surprised if he did something to make the public go less hard on Evan Drellich because it's been a little ugly the last couple of days. But, hey, if you want my piece, I think the guy made a mistake, should have apologized, has apologized. We can move on now. All right. Do you want to touch a little bit on the Santiago Espinal news? So Santiago Espinal, he did it. He made the 40-man. It's going to make the 26-man. Santiago Espinal is going to be a part of the Dodgers opening day roster. He's on the 40-man roster. The Dodgers announced that they have selected the contract of infielder outfielder Santiago Espinal. They opened a 40-man roster spot earlier this month when Jack Sawinski was outrighted, so they did not have to make a corresponding move. But the bigger picture here is that with opening day a little over a week from now, well, no, the opening day is a week from now. It's Thursday. So the Dodgers having his name on that roster, well, this is big because you just never know how these deals are. If I get a chance to talk to him in the next couple of days, one thing we'll kind of try to see is if he did have an opt-out in his minor league deal, But still, Dave Roberts said that he was trending towards making the opening day roster, and basically what he's going to bring you is positional versatility on the defensive end. Also, he's going to be a bat against left-handed pitching. In his career, he's been extremely versatile. He's played all 4 infield spots. That includes first base, as well as second, short, and third. He's also played both corner outfield spots, right field and left field. And then offensively, he can be a part of a platoon. He's a career 291 hitter with a 107 weighted runs created plus, so he's been 7% above league average offensively against lefties. Against righties, that's where he struggles. Hits 245, a 73 weighted runs created plus against righties. But this is big because, I mean, he struggled last couple of seasons. We're a couple years from when he did make the All-Star team. When he was with the Blue Jays, he was really good. He hit 282, was 5% above league average offensively. And then after that, he really struggled. Hit 245, was a really, really looking for some level of consistency at the plate. And then in 2025 with the Reds, his bat fell off a cliff. He hit 243, had a 292 on base slug, just 282, and had a 58 weighted runs created plus. So he was 42% below league average. The Reds outrighted him off the roster after the season. He elected for free agency, ends up signing with the Dodgers. I can tell you from talking to Espinal myself and Teoscar Hernandez that Teoscar Hernandez played a big part in getting him to the Dodgers. And one thing that Teo did tell Espinal was that, hey, this is an organization that is going to be very forthright and upfront about the role you're going to have for this team. So he trusted Teo, he trusts his organization, and now he's earned his opportunity. He really did everything you were hoping him to do in spring training. We know the defense was always going to be good, but they tried to flatten out the swing, be more aggressive early in counts. The numbers tell you that, yeah, is he going to hit 389 with a 1,071 OPS in the regular season? Probably not, but you have to sometimes overperform in spring training, put up some gaudy numbers in a short sample to make a roster that you weren't originally expected to make, and that's what he did. He went 14 for 36 with 3 doubles and 2 home runs and 13 RBIs in spring. Also just 7 strikeouts in 36 at-bats with 5 walks. So the walks are up, the strikeouts are down, the power is up, the hard hit rate is up. So I'm excited about Santiago Espinal. Glad to see that he's going to be on that roster. And the question is, how long is he going to be on that roster? One thing that the Dodgers need to consider is his performance early on. And I think that his goal at the beginning of the season has to be, can I make the Dodgers make a tough decision? You want to have tough decisions if you're an organization like the Dodgers. And we know Tommy Edman and Kike Hernandez, they're going to be on the injured list to start the season. The second base spot, you got Hesung Kim, Miguel Rojas, Alex Freeland, I think, is on the outside looking in. Kim, as a lefty, was better against lefties actually in 2025. But even though it's not a perfect platoon split with him and Espinal, I think the fact that Espinal can add some depth on the bench and you can get a deeper, longer look of Kim with some swing adjustments. You hope that he's better against righties than against lefties. And then hopefully they just both produce defensively as well. And I think too, for Espinal, he's going to get some time at third base as well. The Dodgers roster as a whole, you got Mookie and Muncy and Freddie and Teo. I mean, there's some older guys on the roster, and he can fit into some of those spots. He could play some outfield. He could play some shortstop. He could play third base, could play first base if Freddie Freeman needs a day off. So I think it's the versatility that's led to him being on the roster, but it's the bat that's going to keep him on the roster and going to lead to a tougher decision for the Dodgers if it gets to that point. I did get a chance to talk to him early in spring training, and I think all the things he said in this interview apply to now. And it's cool to see this after the fact, knowing that he put together a strong spring and he did what he was set out to do, and that was make this team. Welcome back to Dodgers Dugout, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. I'm here with one of the newer Dodgers here in camp, Santiago Espinal. This is going to probably been a little bit of a whirlwind just joining this camp, my man.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's pretty exciting to join this team, and for so far it's been amazing, the spring training, and can't wait.
And we've seen what your career has looked like when you've been at your best. How do you think this organization can help you get back to that guy?
I feel like they can help me a lot. They already are, and I think, since I came here, the first thing I told them is that any position that they need me to play, anything that I can do just to add to a little bit to this team, I mean, I'm willing to do it, and I'm here for that.
And Dave Roberts said that you're going to be in the mix at second base with Tom Yevon out to start the season. What does it mean to you to hear Dave Roberts say that?
I mean, it's amazing, but like he told me earlier too, be ready for anything. Be ready to play third, short, second, wherever I'm going to need you, be ready. And that's what I'm doing. My early work has been every position, especially third, especially second, even first base. I played first base last year, and I played in the outfield too, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and that's something this organization loves, is guys that have positional versatility. You can play all around the diamond. How much do you think your style kind of fits what this organization is looking for?
I mean, I think it fits pretty well. I seen Miggy, I seen Kike. They play multiple positions. I said Tommy Emma played multiple positions too, and me as well. So I think it'll be a great opportunity, and I'll be ready for it.
Have you gotten a chance to talk to Kike and Miggy and just kind of what have they said about being a Dodger?
I've been talking to Miggy, also to Teo, because I played 3 years with Teoscar. So we have phone calls too as well, and he told me, bro, this is the best thing to be, especially when you win it back to back. You want to be in a winning championship.
And you've been in some clubhouses around this league. How do you describe this one at this stage of spring training? A lot of clubhouses, guys competing. This clubhouse feels like their goal is to win a third championship in a row.
I mean, they're hungry. They're hungry, and as soon as I got here, being around player who's been 10+ years in the league, 8+ years in the league, for me, I think is amazing to be able to have the opportunity to talk to them and pick their brain. So, I mean, it's been amazing so far in the spring training.
And offensively, what do you think is kind of the key to get that bat where you want it to be?
It's trying to stay consistent, it's trying to stay healthy, and especially, get back to the 2022 season, and that's all it is. We've been working on that, and we got a lot of work to do, and but we'll get there for sure.
And how important is it for you to just kind of have a path to compete for an opening day roster spot?
I mean, I think it's pretty amazing. That's what it's all about. You got to compete every day. Yeah, you got to come here. You got to compete at anything that you do, whether it's hitting, whether it's different. You got to compete, and this is what it's all about.
And as far as goals, I mean, how badly do you want to make that opening day roster?
I mean, it'll be amazing. It'll be a great opportunity for me in my career, and I'm pretty excited for it.
Awesome, man. Gonna keep the same walk-up song this year. Dodger Stadium's electric. Got 50,000 fans. Have you kind of thought about what you're gonna play?
Not yet, but I got a couple songs, because the speakers are really, really good. So
everyone talks about those speakers, a little louder than most ballparks, right?
Yeah, I gotta get a good bang in there.
Right, who are some names that are some options, some artists, maybe some songs?
For sure, I'm gonna put Mike Towers, Eladio Carrion, and probably some dembow in Spanish, Don Dominican.
That's fire right there. Hey, Santiago Espinal, former All-Star. This is someone, hey, you might not have him on your radar right now, but by the end of the season, this is a guy who can have an impact for this team. So congratulations to Santiago Espinal making that roster. Not officially official, but it's pretty officially official if you really think about it. I mean, the thing too, here's the thing, long term, with Rojas and Kim on the roster, one of the three will be gone when Edman comes back. We know that's not going to be Rojas. It very most likely won't be Kim. We'll see what happens with Espinal. But the good thing for Kim has options. He doesn't play third too, so he's going to have to really impress if he wants to stay on this roster. And Espinal, he earned a shot. Even if it's on the short term, he's earned that shot. And that's exactly what he wanted, and that's what he got. But all right, let's get to an interview I did with Jimmy Rollins. A quick one, and I know there's a lot of new Dodger fans out there. I know there's a lot of new Shohei fans that are Dodgers fans, and I'm fine with that. I'm not gatekeeping Dodgers fandom. I want as many new fans as we can possibly get. But if you're a Dodgers fan that has followed this team for a while, you knew how excited we were to get Jimmy Rollins. You knew how good he was when he was on the Phillies, when we saw him. And I always wondered how he ended up on the Dodgers and what went in to him putting on that Dodger blue. and he revealed to me how he ultimately ended up in LA.
Here, one of my favorite players of all time, Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy, first of all, Clayton Kershaw, you were his teammate. I cover the Dodgers.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on just his last season, being a part of this, and just kind of what do you remember about him as a teammate?
That's dope. We'll start on the back end. It's dope for him to be able to, ride out on a chariot. You win the World Series, and then you get an invite to come represent your country in the WBC. 2028 will be a little too deep for him. He'll be well into retirement then. So here's his last chance to put on his country across his chest. So if the offer was there for me and I was in that position, I would have done the same thing. It's hell yes, I'm going to be there. Worst case scenario, I'm hanging with the fellas and getting my victory lap. It's like he gets 2 victory laps. He had it last year and was crowned the champion. And this is like this was for the world. So good for him. Playing against Kershaw, playing with Kershaw, you knew he was great. It was one of those games you circled, and it wasn't because it was lunch. It's because it's greatness. Like, we have to go out there trying to find a way today. What can I do against one of the best? And every year when you played anybody you face, I'm sure had the same feeling. This is Clayton Kershaw. Like, if I could do something against him, I could do something against anybody. But you get that kind of confidence when you face a guy like that. He's a great guy. What he's done for this game. He might be one of those 100%, vote guys, the numbers he's put up, but just the longevity and the way he went about his business. Very professional every single day. A great teammate. We get to see guys on the mound, but we're going to get to see him in the dugout in the clubhouse. He's a great person all the way around.
And Jimmy, you were one of the very best players in your era, played in all-star games. How do you describe this, though? It's the WBC, the DR, the big stage, just the growth of this tournament.
Yes, this is completely different. When you put that USA across your chest, it changes. Your best friend could be on the other side of the dugout, but you're not my friend right now. And then when this is over, it's like it didn't happen because you go back to playing. But in this moment, it means everything. You're the anthem 200 times a year. The 5, 6, 7 games you hear it here, it's different. It's completely different. And it's hard to explain until you've actually been in the stadium or you've put on a uniform and you know what it means. I'm getting chills talking about it now. But to see the growth of the game, to see it go from, Joe Blow working 9 to 5, but he gets to put on his country and he's competing against guys that they have no chance of beating, to players saying, hey, let me find out my heritage and deciding which country they want to represent. To represent their country in such a way on this stage has been amazing. The game has grown. The competition is stiff. This is probably the best prelude you can have to the 28 Olympics with baseball coming back in LA. So it's been great for the sport. It's been great for the fans. Spring training is boring, let's be honest. It's boring. Your closer comes in the 5th inning and he goes home. Nah, you don't get to do that here. The closer has his role. The leadoff hitter has his role. Clutch hitting means just as much here as it does in the World Series. And don't get me wrong, you're playing for the trophy. That's what we sign up to play for every single year. But when you get a chance to play and win it for your country, if you ask the guys that have won it here, Japan 3 times, USA once, and I think there's somebody else in between, you ask them, if they're being honest, they probably say this means a little bit more.
All right, Jimmy, I can ask you a ton of questions, but I don't want to take too much of your time. As a Dodgers fan, as a Dodgers reporter, I do want to ask you, though, what did it mean to put on that Dodgers uniform towards the end of your career, one of your final seasons? Just what do you remember most about that time in LA?
So, I was asked a couple times if I wanted to be moved from Philly, and I told Ruben Amaro Jr. at the time, I'm like, no. He asked me a second time, I'm like, look, if you get me to LA, you don't have to ask me again. And for me, it was always a history of Jackie Robinson. And wearing that uniform on Jackie Robinson Day, I was so envious for years, like, what a privilege it is that on Jackie Robinson Day, you're in a Dodger uniform wearing number 42. And in 2015, I finally got that opportunity. The only other place I wanted to play outside of Philly, although I was a kid and hated the Dodgers, especially after '88 and, you beat my Oakland A's, I hated the Dodgers. But when I had the opportunity to go there, I'm like, the only other place I want to go for is not going to be Philadelphia. It's to the Dodgers, so I can wear number 42 on Jackie Robinson Day. So I got to live that.
It's incredible stuff. We don't appreciate all the time in Philly and what you did to those Dodgers teams, you and Utley and those guys, but at least you had some time with the LA at the very end. Jimmy, enjoy the game. Really appreciate it. And yeah, man, one of the best of your era, and love it, man. Thank you so much. You're the man, Jimmy.
How cool is that? Jimmy Rollins, man. Really cool to catch up with him. So now it's your time to shine. it's your time to let it all out. Give me all your thoughts, comments, and questions about your boys in blue. That's coming up next on the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
Okay, who do we got? We got Nando, Jimmy Rollins, straight capping. Come on, really? We can't leave the tortoise alone from Sheriff. We got some Andy Chen. Yes, we will have to do a Dodgers Nation barbecue. Yeah, you guys want to do a I got to do a meetup with you guys. I'm planning something with a restaurant bar or something like that. Like, we got to have everyone meet up. We got to see Nando. We got to do a tour stop, right? And I'm working on it. It's a lot of logistics. We'll do a live show. I'm going to have you guys on the show. So trust me, I'm working on something on the side. We've got Joe M. When's the next collective? Yep, we got myself, Fabian Ardaya, Jerry Hairston Jr. going live a little later tonight, so look out for us. We've got Sheriff Bart potluck. Yeah, we'll do it. Nofu. Happy tour to Thursday. 1 week till opening day. Let's go. Yeah, we are. D-Mac, who's your pick to win the NCAA tournament? You guys, my very unbiased tournament bracket. I've got UCLA, Utah, Michigan, and Gonzaga, and UCLA beating Gonzaga in the title. Yes, and then I woke up. I get it. Am I dreaming? Sure. Am I biased? Absolutely. But hey, how about this? Duke is down 11 to Sierra at the half. Something called Sierra, the 16 seed. Hey, my guy Rick Kajewski, who does stats and info for the Dodgers, helps out with Joe Davis and everyone. He's the best at what he does. He's a big Duke guy. So for his sake, I'm rooting for the Blue Devils to come back. They're in that Eastern bracket. So how about shout out to Rick Kajewski. What's up, Jack? We've got, okay, let's see. How do we feel about the roster? By the way, how do you guys feel about the mic versus the headset? Like, serious question. You guys like the mic or you like the headset? The Britney mic? Do you guys see I look like I'm a USA coach or something. I got the USA polo, the hat. Fortunately, they lost in the final, but still. Blake Snell should drop some World Series bars from Big Joe Smash. Sheriff says, when are Farmer John Dodger dogs coming back to Dodger Stadium? No time soon. It is definitely Papa Cantella, looks like, from here on out. Food check, D-Mac, have you tried the Gator yet? I have not tried the Gator yet. I'm hoping tomorrow to try some Gator. Beating a Zag is always fun. Sammy Boy Smith likes the mic. You guys like the microphone? Okay, looks official. SoCal. You like to? I got the Dodgers Nation logo, 3D. Shout out to my man Gary Lee for rocking with this one. LASR, got the LA Sports Report. It's getting some love here. I'm seeing that. Maybe it's time to ditch the mic, to ditch the Britney mic. Getting got a lot of love about it, so I appreciate it, guys. Will Klein looks good. Yeah, he certainly has looked really good in camp. Sam Murray, we need more Dodgers fans in Texas. LOL, I'm not home in LA. Hey, a lot of Dodgers fans here in South Florida. Dalton Rushing is fire. Yeah, it's good to see Dalton Rushing have some success. He's someone that I'm really hoping comes out of the gates, has success early, and is able to build on that throughout the season. And whatever role he has, he just has to excel in that, and I think that he will. I really do. I mean, his character, his intangibles are off the charts, and I think that's a big reason why the Dodgers think that Dalton Rush can flourish in a backup role, because they know that he's got the mental toughness to be able to do it. D-Mac, thanks for saying that they're making excuses for Roki Sasaki. Look, I'm saying the whole picture. I mean, I think there's a lot of things about it. I mean, a 13.50 ERA, you can look on that, but still, I think there's more to it than just that. I mean, he's ditching the slider for a cutter. There's just no whiff rate on that sinker. I mean, there's a lot of things that are kind of in play, but I think for me, it's about the pitches and the development, and the hope too is that just when he gets on that stage, things will certainly take the next level. D-Mac, any update on the Uniqlo? Yeah, so the partnership with Uniqlo and the Dodgers is going to be officially announced on March 25th. They're the official on-field sponsor of the Dodgers now, so that's certainly the case. We've got B Cat 35. D-Mac, did you see what Ernie Clement said about Game 7? I did see that. Ernie Clement, he said that in Game 7, at the end of the 9th inning, that he thought that it was a home run off the bat, and it didn't look like the center fielder was going to catch it. And, of course, they cut to him, and what ended up happening. So, it actually was kind of cool. He actually gave a lot of respect to Kike Hernandez and the Dodgers for that one. So, yeah, I mean, I thought that that was going to be it, too. I really did. Like, here's the thing. I don't know why Dodgers fans don't like Ernie Clement. I've seen him around a couple times. He's a good dude. You know, it's the thing too. I saw PCA down here in Pete Crow Armstrong. Like, once you kind of like hear him and talk to him, you kind of see why he said what he said. I think that baseball needs more Pete Crow Armstrongs, guys that talk and aren't afraid to kind of shake things up a little bit. Let's see some more. We've got Gator Bites or Bomb. Nando, D-Mac, is there any team in the NL West that can actually compete with the Dodgers? Look, I mean, we know the Giants are actively trying to make some win now moves. That's evidenced by going out there and bringing in Rafael Devers. You look at the move for Willie Adames. You have Logan Webb. You have talent there, but do you have depth there? Do you have enough to beat a team like the Dodgers if they're fully healthy? Could you even really say that they're a team that's trending up? I think when you look at teams that are trending up and trending down, the Padres are a team that's certainly trending in the wrong direction. You got a roster of Tatis and Machado and Xander and Jackson Merrill, Mason Miller, Michael King, Nick Pivetta. You got a lot of dudes there, but it feels like they're kind of stuck in the kind of we're like fake contenders, I want to say. But they still have some stars. So I think if they had the pitching, they'd be interesting. I think Arizona, the Diamondbacks, you lose Corbin Burns, but they're a group that just under Torey Lovello plays really good baseball. So if I had to really pick a team, I think the Diamondbacks are a team that just a sneaky good team. Like they're a team that plays the Dodgers well at home. They're a team that really rallies like that. You still have some talent down there. You still have guys that are not at their full potential. So, I mean, the truth is if the Dodgers stay healthy, they're going to run away with the NL West. But there are some talented teams. And I think you will be able to look back and say it'll be the NL East and the NL West as the two best divisions in the league. The question is, who has the health benefits? Who stays healthy? And I think ultimately that's going to determine how close a team can be with the Dodgers. Because on paper, this team is better than they were last year. And last year they won 93 games in large part because they had a lot of injuries to their starting rotation. But let me know, who do you guys think could be the biggest threat to the Dodgers? I had Jack McMullen from the Just Baseball podcast, and he thinks the Diamondbacks are going to be a surprise team this season. So we'll see how that goes. MLB needs a bracket game like NCAA and NFL. I mean, that's what the WBC is. Come on now. We don't win on paper, guys. Absolutely not. But that's why you fill it with depth. We got Ryder. Ryan might be up this year. I like both Ryans. Ryder's basically just a little version of River. Diego, yes, the Dodgers are back-to-back champs, but guess what? Success is not promised. Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, that's what they've been saying the last couple years. PCA is going to E-Crow Armstrong. Maybe I'll get that a shirt. SoCal, Padres are exactly where they deserve to be. All they do is talk. We've got Chris and D-Mac. Love the video that you posted of Miggy Rowe watching the WBC with his kids. So cute. Yeah, I mean, he was very excited about his country, and so was Brusdar Graterol, and it was great to see that. And Rob Manfred, by the way, did say that there's a chance that with the momentum of the WBC that they could consider moving it to the summer months, which I think is inevitable and essential if they want the tournament to grow to another level. River Ryan got a cutback on the burgers while in AAA. That's from Nando. It's good weight. His weight has led to higher velocity. So that's kind of with him. And he told me, I actually asked River Ryan if the weight gain was due to diet. And he said, no, it's because he's been lifting like an animal. So he's not getting his burgers animal style, Nando. He's lifting like an animal. Show some respect around here, Nando. Greatest threat to the Dodgers is complacency. That's from Russell Sachs. This is a comment of the show, really. I've said it here the last couple of seasons. It's the Dodgers versus the Dodgers and the Dodgers versus the IR and the IL. So can the injured list take down the Dodgers? I think that's who can take down the Dodgers. Can complacency do that too? I think so too, but they have so much to play for. The chance to win 3 straight titles, become just this third organization in the sport's history to win 3 straight. First three-peat since the 2000 Yankees, and really cement themselves as one of the greatest teams in the history of the sport. So I think that's kind of where the motivation lies too. And there's a lot of guys that are chasing things too. I mean, a lot of reasons to be motivated. Mookie Betts wants to reestablish himself as an all-star bat, as well as maintain being a really good shortstop. And Freddie Freeman wants 3,000 hits, and Shohei wants a Cy Young, and Yama wants a Cy Young, and Will Smith wants another all-star, and Max Muncy wants to be the all-time leading home run champion for LA Dodgers history. I'm not saying he said that or thinks that, but I just feel like that could be a carrot at least. And he just wants to be a contributor on a World Series team. So there's that. We know that Kim, it's his dream to be on this roster. Edman and Rojas wants to go out with a title in his final seasons. Andy Pajes wants to make an all-star team and continue to cement himself as an everyday big league player. That's not a lock yet. He needs more work to do to be that guy. And Kyle Tucker wants to prove everyone that he is MVP caliber. He already said he wants to win the Gold Glove. Teoscar Hernandez wants to have a bounce back year. Kike wants to continue. I mean, do I need to keep going? There's just so much motivation throughout this team. I don't think complacency is going to hurt this team. I really do not. We got Muncy needs to pass Karras from peak to peak. Let's trade for Skubal already. Do you guys want Skubal on your team? I don't know. I'd be down for Skubal. I'm not gonna lie, but he could have really probably won the WBC for Team USA. I will say that. But all right, guys, couple more. When are we gonna get Skeens? I don't think until I asked everyone here, all the insiders, all the Pirates people. I said, give me a year. Give me the year we can start talking about Skeens to the Dodgers, and they told me 2028. So that's down the road. Not gonna happen. At least imminently. All right, guys, that is going to do it for the 7th inning stretch. I'll take 2 more. John Shaw, we're going to see some incredible years from our guys that weren't happy with last year's results. Exactly. That's what I just laid out. And we could keep going, but there's a ton of guys that are going to need to have bounce back years. Not just they're going to want to, they're going to need to if this team is going to have success at the level we expect them to. All right, guys. This is wild. Pika Peep says, don't need Skeens, already have River. Look, we know we call him the LA River because he's nasty, but still, come on. Skeens is on a whole another planet. But all right, running out of time, so let's get to the walk-off.
The walk-off.
All right, today for the walk-off, we've got some more news and details on NBC's opening day telecast. Clayton Kershaw, he told me he's going to be a part of the opening day broadcast. I have said it all off season. I asked him about it. I think he's going to throw out the opening day first pitch. If it's not that, it'll be on ring night. And I asked Clayton Kershaw if he was open to it, and Kersh told me that he'll do whatever Lon wants him to do. And Lon Rosen is a guy that really calls the shots for the Dodgers when it comes to those kinds of things. And we'll see. I expect him to do it. I felt it all off season. But we've got some more updates, and that is that Oral Hershiser is going to be a part of the broadcast as well. So Oral Hershiser is, along with Luis Gonzalez, going to join Jason Benetti, who's the lead play-by-play baseball broadcaster for NBC Sports. Well, Oral Hershiser and Luis Gonzalez, they're going to be in the booth. So it's going to be awesome because he's not only going to be there for opening day and for big games throughout the season, but he's going to be there on Sunday Night Baseball for NBC. So that's going to be really awesome. So you're going to see Oral Hershiser doing more national stuff We know that Bob Costas and Clayton Kershaw are going to be in the mix, so that's going to be exciting stuff. So how about that? Clayton Kershaw, NBC analyst, the GOAT. Christianity is alive and well. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. But before we get out of here, I do want to remind you of our new re-energized Fan Cave series. So the Fan Cave series is back. So let's tell you about it. Our Dodgers Nation Fan Caves Battle Series is back for Season 2, and it's pretty simple. If you have any sort of setup at home with Dodgers memorabilia or merchandise, you have a chance to be featured on our platform and win some special prizes. Whether you put together a full basement setup, a Dodgers decorated bedroom, a shrine, or even just a shelf filled with different bobbleheads over the years, we want to see. In every episode of the series, our host, Ava Brand, will be running through 4 of our favorite fan caves and the stories behind them, but there can only be one winner by the end of the episode. That winner will receive a 1-of-1 fan cave certificate and a gift card from the Dodgers Nation team. For all details on how to submit your fan cave to enter our battle series, head over to DodgersNation.com/fancave. We cannot wait to see your guys' special setups. But see you guys tomorrow. See you later, too, if you guys are going to rock with us on the Collective. We got a jam-packed show tomorrow. Opening day a week away. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
When the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.